welcome back to my channel. If you guys are new here, hi, my name is Hillary, and if you're a returning subscriber, then you must be a crazy Hilly, and welcome back. If you like the stuff that we're putting out, feel free to give a like, subscribe, or leave a comment down below. It actually helps out the channel so much. Tonight, we're just going to get right on into what we're talking about, and we are going to talk about the trial of Arnie Johnson, also known as The Devil Made Me Do It. Now, if you know anything about this case, or maybe you have heard the name The Devil Made Me Do It, it just recently came out into the Conjuring universe. The Devil Made Me Do It, and it's a movie. I just watched it, thought it was pretty good, and I figured, hey, why not give you guys the gist of everything that kind of went down, not in the movie, but the actual real life thing behind the murder and ghosts. The trial of Arnie Johnson, also known as the Devil Made Me Do It case, was the first known case in the United States in where the defense tried to prove innocence on the basis of the guy was demonically possessed. On November 24th in 1981 in Brookville, Connecticut, Arnie Johnson was convicted of first-degree murder for murdering his landlord, Alan Bono. According to the testimony of the Glatzel family, 11-year-old David Glatzel allegedly played host to a demonic possession. After witnessing a bunch of weird stuff in their house and things going on with their son, the Glatzel family, as like a last-ditch effort, decided to bring in Ed and Lorraine Warren. I'm sure if you've watched this channel, we all knew who they are, The Conjuring. They dealt with a bunch of cases, but they chose to bring them in to help get rid of the demon that was inside their child. Along with the Warrens, the Glatzel family were looking for someone to exorcise their son, so they had a bunch of priests that came, and a whole bunch of things went down until finally they were able to come in and do a formal exorcism, at which point it said that the demon left the boy's body and went into Arnie's body because he was present during this exorcism. Yeah, it just vacated the kid and went to the adult, I guess. As kind of like a preview to before this exorcism started, when David was at home, he kept saying he's seeing this vision of this old man who kept coming and bothering him. Every time he was at home, all this time, this old man kept showing up. And this kid started to get really, really different. He wasn't himself anymore when he kept saying that this man was appearing. His mom and dad didn't really believe him at the time. They kind of thought he was making it up to be a getting out of cleaning and all this other things. Because as a kid would do, I don't want to clean, I saw the devil. Apparently, when David saw this being of this old man, he also said that he saw some kind of demonic form that told him that it wanted to steal his soul. So ew. So after David started seeing all this, before the family finally gave up and decided to call a priest, their son was having these massive night terrors, and then he ended up getting scratches and bruises and all these other things, and that's kind of where the family was like, okay, there's maybe something wrong here. Let's contact a priest. Several months later, after this exorcism, that's when Arnie unfortunately decided to kill his landlord during a party. And Arnie, of course, was there when the exorcism happened to David, and what they say happened is that the demon jumped from David to Arnie, who was in the exact same room as all of this was going on. And that's literally what their lawyer decided to use in court. That is the story that they told as to why he was not, I don't know if the word's capable, or why he wasn't the reason why he decided to kill I feel like I'm getting my words all back to front, but you know what I mean. Why he wasn't the one for the reason for not killing his landlord. On February 16th, 1981, Arnie decided to call in sick for work, and he kind of went to go hang out with his girlfriend, Debbie, who was David's older sister at the time. So Arnie was with Debbie at her job, and she used to work at a kennel, and that's what she was doing. Apparently, at some point, it was lunchtime, and their boss decided, hey, let's go get some food at a local bar, to where everyone kind of drank. So that's where, the story for me gets, y'all were drinking a little bit. I don't know if maybe that was what caused it instead of the demons, but what happened next is pretty gross. So Bono, who was the landlord at the time, who was very heavily intoxicated at this moment, kind of started to get into an argument. He was getting in an argument with Debbie, and Arnie was there, and they were all kind of fighting. At some point, things got like real bad. They all kind of went back to the apartment where Arnie was asking Bono to release Mary, who I think was somebody else that they were sitting with. I'm not quite sure if it was his cousin, but regardless, he was drunk and he was acting a fool, and Arnie was getting real angry about it. And at some point, Arnie started growling like a dog and then pulled out a 5-inch knife and started stabbing Bono to death. Bono suffered 4 or 5 really bad wounds to his chest. Like he got stabbed quite a bit, but Arnie was mostly stabbing him to the upper torso, and he died like a few hours later. It wasn't very long that it took him to die. And then Arnie was eventually picked up just walking down the road. He left and I guess was just walking, and some cop was like, "Hey man, like, yo, like, ugh." The trial took place in Connecticut's Superior Court, and Lorraine Warren actually kind of said like, "Hey, we just did an exorcism, you know, we think that was a reason," but I don't, the lawyers also decided to try to paint it as self-defense, because clearly like demonic possession isn't really, like, it can't really hold up, you know what I mean? Like I honestly don't know what I would say if I was literally a judge and I'm like, "What say you, sir? Like, how can you plea?" And this guy is like, "I was possessed by a devil." Like, what am I supposed to say to that? Like, okay, like, you still go to jail. After all this happened, they took, I believe it was a few days, like, to deliberate what his sentence would be, and he was actually sentenced to 10 to 20 years in jail, but he only ever served 5, and then he got out. So, like, I guess, you know, after stabbing a dude to death, you only get 5 years in prison. Doesn't seem fair to me, but you guys know how I feel about ghosts. Like, I want, like, this is something that I love talking about. I want to prove that they exist. I have such a hard time when it comes down to, like, you kind of have to take people's word for it, right? Not that I don't believe in demonic possession, but I feel like it's something you actually have to be there to experience. And I don't know if I really quite, like, I don't know if if I'm even, like, on the side where you can use that in a court battle. Like, hey, like, you know, demons don't really come into play here for me. Of course, that's on the other side, it could be completely different for the other guy that's like, "Yo, dude, I didn't do it. I was demonically possessed." But for me, you still killed a guy. This man's dead now. For me, there's no way to even possibly prove that this guy was demonically possessed, right? Like, even video. Like, what does your logical mind think? I really want to be able to fully concretely be like, yeah, this is what happened, because I do believe that there are forces, but when it comes to that, like, that's just a little too much. It's just a little bit too much. It really comes down to, what do you guys think? Like, I have quite a few questions for this. Like, do you guys think that this guy should have gotten out? Do you think that this should be something counted in a court of law? Like, I'm very caught in a hard place between this, because I don't really think that should be something counted in a court of law. But then again, I guess there are things that happen that we all don't understand. But still, I guess it all depends. Like, whatever you guys think, I would love to hear down in the comments. Do you think he deserved the jail time? Do you believe that he was demonically possessed? It was enough that Ed and Lorraine Warren had to get involved, and there were priests there that did have to do this formal evacuation of the spirit from the boy's body. Like, I believe that the Catholic Church needs enough proof to even do these kind of exorcisms, which, like, involves, you know, pictures and stuff being taken, because apparently they don't just run up on people and start exorcising them in their home like that. It's kind of like a big deal. Or at least as far as I've read, when it comes to Ed and Lorraine Warren, like, they had to have a whole bunch of facts before they went and did this. So, what do y'all think? Leave a comment down below. I'd love to hear it. So thank you guys for watching. Feel free to give a like, subscribe, leave a comment down below if you liked the video. It actually helps the channel out so much. Next week, I'm actually planning to go and do my first looking for a ghost in, like, real life, like outside these 4 walls. So we're gonna go see if we can get one of them at some point. So come back hopefully next weekend. It'll be up. at some point, because I'm going to be filming it next weekend, editing it next weekend. There's going to be a lot of stuff. So if it's a couple days late, like, please don't judge me. But thank you guys. If you guys want any merch or anything down below, all of that links are down there. And I'll see you guys next week with hopefully some ghost evidence. If not, I'm sorry I failed you.